Ava stood frozen on the tarmac, surrounded by crew members blocking her path. Cameras rolled, whispers spread. She owned the jet every bolt, every seat, but they refused to let her board. Not because of a glitch, not because of security, because they couldn't believe she was the boss. The humiliation wasn't loud, it was quiet, calculated, and undeniable. In 48 hours, she'd fire every last one of them. But first, the world needed to see what happened. This is the jet incident that shook an entire industry. Comment your city, we're watching with you. Asterisk, it was supposed to be a victory lap. Ava Morgan, a 34-year-old tech entrepreneur and one of the youngest black women to own a private jet, was heading to New York after closing the biggest deal of her career. Dressed in a sharp navy suit, she arrived at the private terminal with confidence, her assistant trailing behind, phone buzzing with congratulations. Ground crew waved as she approached, assuming she was part of someone else's staff. She smiled, unfazed. It wasn't the first time. Ava had fought through 1,000 assumptions to reach this level. The jet, sleek and silent, waited under the fading sky. But as she stepped forward to board her own plane, a voice stopped her. Cold, firm, ma'am. This jet is not for passengers. Ava blinked, confused. A strange tightness formed in her chest. She hadn't realized yet this wasn't a mistake. It was about to become a moment the world would remember. Asterisk, Ava stood, still, stunned. This is my aircraft, she said calmly, showing her ID badge and flight manifest. The crew member didn't even glance at it. You need to step away from the jet, he repeated, louder now, drawing attention. Passersby began to look. A second crew member approached, whispering something behind cupped hands. Then a third. They formed a loose wall between Ava and the steps. Her assistant tried to intervene, but was quickly brushed aside. A security guard, summoned without cause, began questioning her like a trespasser. Who invited you here? Are you lost? Ava could feel the heat rising in her chest. This wasn't just a misunderstanding. This was profiling dressed up as protocol. She called the pilot directly. His voice cracked over the line. They told me someone was trying to board without clearance. I didn't know it was you. Now, phones were recording. Voices murmuring. People watching a black woman, wealthy, accomplished, and calm, being denied dignity on her own tarmac. The crew refused to back down until proper authorization arrives. You're not permitted to board. Proper authorization. She owned the jet. She was the authorization. Ava stepped back, heart pounding, not in fear, but in decision. She didn't raise her voice. She didn't need to. She simply turned to her assistant and said, "Get me legal now." And as the cameras kept rolling, so did the outrage. What came next would rock the entire aviation industry and end several careers. Asterisk, Ava's legal team arrived within the hour. 3 attorneys, a publicist, and a camera crew. But before they could speak, Ava took the mic herself, calm, poised, and furious. She held up the ownership documents for the jet, her business credentials, even security footage showing her being denied entry. This is what racism looks like. In silence, she said, "It doesn't scream, it blocks gates." The video went viral in minutes. As headlines exploded, the airline scrambled to respond too late, but it wasn't the press conference that shocked the world. It was what happened 48 hours later. Ava, as majority shareholder in the aviation company that staffed the terminal, walked into the boardroom and did what no one expected. She terminated every employee involved on camera. No apologies, no reversals. "This isn't revenge," she said. "This is responsibility." Asterisk, Ava's bold action sent ripples far beyond the runway. Within days, policies changed across multiple airlines. Diversity training was no longer optional. It became urgent. But Ava didn't stop there. She launched an initiative to empower underrepresented women in aviation, turning her pain into purpose. Still, the moment lingered. Not because she fired people, but because she exposed a truth too many still deny. Success doesn't shield you from racism. Not wealth, not titles, not ownership. Her story wasn't rare. It was a mirror held up to a system built on silent gatekeeping. How many others are still being told, "You don't belong," even when they've earned everything. If this story moved you, like, share, and subscribe. Your voice is part of the change. And comment below, what does justice look like to you?